I've got no place to go. If I follow my mind, I know I'll slaughter my own. Help me, I'm the prisoner. Won't you hear my plea? I need somebody, yeah, to listen to me. I beg you, brothers and sisters, I'm counting on you, yeah. Black babies in the womb, shackled and bound, chained by the caveman, keeps beauty down. Smacked on the ass when they're squalling and wet. And to a spineless man who never forgets, never forgets that he's a prisoner. Can't you hear my plea? 'Cause I need somebody, Lord knows, to listen to me. I'm a stranger to my son who wonders why his daddy runs, yeah.
Peace and love. Welcome again to the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition. I'm Brother Frank, and I'm with former political prisoner and devout Muslim of almost 50 years,
Abdul Haq Islam.
Today's episode, we recognize those of the Islamic faith who are participating in Ramadan. We say Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you, and we want you to, we want to learn, such as myself, we want to learn more about Ramadan, its importance and its power. You know, today's episode, you know, Brother Haq Islam will be breaking down Ramadan and what it means, and we expected to have a guest. And I think it's very important that we make that direct connection with Ramadan and the struggle to free political prisoners, because when you are committed to something and dealing with the concept of God, you know, you hear the concept of injustice, and how do you relate to it? So, Brother Abdul Haq Islam, you speak on that. What does Ramadan mean?
Some love out there to our audience. One love, power to the people, free them all. Yes, we are in the very, very blessed month of Ramadan, almost in the middle of Ramadan. Ramadan is a sacred month, you know, one in which we get ourselves together. You know, we strive and consciously think about doing and being better and better and better. You know, we are very, very Allah conscious during Ramadan. We read the Holy Quran quite a bit. We pray a lot, and in reading the Holy Quran, often we come we come upon the phraseology that says to do good. And every time I read that in the Holy Quran, I get a push of inspiration to do better and better and better, So when we fast, we control ourselves. Fasting is for self-restraint, for self-control, to master yourself, to be strong. I remember I came to Islam during Ramadan, and I remember vividly a tall Muslim brother. He said in a very forceful voice, Ramadan makes Muslims strong. In fact, I made a t-shirt with that saying on it, Ramadan makes Muslims strong. And I'm relating the themes of Ramadan to our political prisoners because we are in a state of war. And when you are in a state of war, you must bring forth those potent aspects of our humanity, which is necessary to fight in a struggle, to be bold, to be audacious, to be able to struggle and never quit, never give up. Don't become discouraged thinking that something is superhuman over you, and ain't nothing you can do. We have to be at the peak of our humanity. Chapter 30, verse 30 of the Quran says to establish ourselves upon the pattern upon which Allah has created us. In Islam, we have the concept that Allah has created perfection in the human being, in our humanity, that humanity is a very, very height of creation, which is very different from the idea that the human race is fallen because of some sin of Adam that ain't none of us had nothing to do with, but yet and still, we are in the dungeon, doomed because of the sin of Adam. That's Islam ain't got nothing to do with that idea. Islam says that we are indeed that the human being is the apex of perfection. That is perfection in our humanity, and political prisoners. I've did jail time with some of them. Even during Ramadan. Sheikh Noor Abdul Qayyum, who some of y'all know, Sheikh Noor Washington. He taught a class on the purification of the soul. I did time with Abdul Majid. These were very, very high striving brothers. This is Brother Abdul Majid that when I used to run the yard with that brother, he'd take one of his his leg go from almost 20 feet. And I had to keep up with that brother running.
His brother, he was a political prisoner?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Abdul Majid, yeah. And, in a war, like I said before, you have to embrace and exhibit those beautiful aspects of the humanity, courage, uprightness, principledness, to not give in to fear, to those things of the lower desires, that make us slaves, and explaining the struggle of the self. Imam Jamil Al-Amin, formerly known as H. Rap Brown, that brother in the on your screen on the right-hand side to the bottom. It was Frank. You move out the way a little bit. Yeah,
Right.
that brother right there, Imam Jamil Alameen. That brother, he said it very, very artistically. He said that anybody can fight, but everybody can't win. To win, you have to be on the level of the Nasi al Mutmainah. The Nasi al Mutmainah is the highest level of the self. And this is our goal during Ramadan, to be on the level of the Nasi al Mutmainah, which is a self that's very, very conscious of Allah, you know, of what Allah's demands are. Yes, sir.
I want to speak on that right now.
Yes, sir.
Now, I did some research on the Ramadan, and I researched fasting, and it talks about this experience makes you more God conscious. To be more God conscious, you must make the distinction between observing something that's incorrect and just observing, and actually observing something, being conscious that is wrong, and actually taking action towards making it correct.
Yeah.
And I think that this applies directly to the political prisoners. We understand that political prisoners stood up against injustice. They're currently incarcerated now as devout Muslims or devout Christians or whatever faith you claim to be. It must be a direct connection to how you approach injustices. Do you stand on the side and just get a critical analysis of it, or do you organize people to stand up and take a position on it? And I think that that's the importance of looking at theology from the perspective of it being a tool of liberation.
Right. Allah says to stand up for justice, to be just, you know, and to fight for justice, you know, takes a power, you know, within the human being, you know, because those who we fight against, who are about injustice, you know, they have some stuff that some people call power, you know, and so when we stand up against them, you know, it is a struggle. You know, it ain't no sleep in bed all day type of thing. You know, lazy type of attitude type thing that you just go willy nilly. It's a fight.
Exactly. It's a fight. And speaking of fight, we got a brother who's been of the Islamic faith for 30 years, and his name is Azmat Muhammad. Brother Azmat, what's going on, brother?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. What's happening?
So, brother, before you came on, we was talking about Ramadan and fasting and how it makes you more God conscious. And in being more God conscious, you have responsibility to approach injustice a certain way. And we understand that political prisoners are incarcerated unjustly, and we need to take a stand for them. So what's your position, brother, when it comes to Ramadan and how you deal with injustice?
Well, first, let me just say thank you, brother, for having me on. Number two, I was actually on for a while, and I'm like, okay, why am I not included? I said, okay. And I looked down at the bottom. I had to touch camera, so pardon me for my ignorance. So,
no problem, brother.
Yeah. So, yeah. In terms of your question, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that fasting is recommended to us and for us. It is a time for us to purify our soul. And doing this particular thing is essential for all of us, all of humanity. We all need to do what I call a self-audit, an internal audit. And the best time to do it for us as Muslims is during the month of Ramadan, because it's a time for us to reflect upon the things that we've done that are incorrect and the things that are around us that are incorrect. And in terms of what you asked about political prisoners and trying to right a wrong in terms of what's happening to these brothers, and many of them, are Muslim, you know, it is a time for us to reflect on what we can do to empower these brothers and help these brothers with their current situation, and be mindful of the fact that at any given moment it could be one of us. But these brothers are, sustaining all the harsh treatment of being incarcerated for not 1 or 2 days, but we're talking about decades,
Yeah.
decades, literally decades. And these brothers are suffering at the cost of of our sacrifice, their sacrifice. They gave up their lives. So we need to be mindful and reflect upon that. And that's what Islam and Ramadan should do. It makes us to reflect upon the experience of what these brothers are going through. And we need to support them.
Excellent breakdown. I appreciate that because many people would not understand that they are political prisoners, and that's why we use this platform consistently to raise awareness about political prisoners and what we need to do to deal with that situation. Because nobody gets anywhere without the sacrifices of others. And I think that you said it best. You said that Ramadan is a self-audit. We all need to do self-audit. We all need to ask ourselves, how do we relate to injustices? How do we relate to knowing something?
What are we doing?
And what are we going to do? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
What you was about to say, brother? And then you was about to say, what do we do about it?
And what do you do? What actions do you take? It ain't just a talk thing. You got to put some work in. To put in some work, you got to have certain human qualities, to make you able to do that work and do that work, to the excellence.
Right.
And I know that, when we write to political prisoners and they write us back, then we have this dialogue going on. So now we could conduct that self-audit continuously, right? Somebody had a conversation with you, you leave that conversation, you go about your daily routine, but yet you reflect on the conversation and it builds you up to ask yourself, what are you doing about something, or what are you doing with what you know? And I think that that's very important, right? Because I know after you come out of your fast, what do you feel like when you come out of your fast? Any one of y'all can go first.
I feel good. I feel like, like I've accomplished something, that I've suppressed, certain urges, I've improved my personality, I feel a feeling of accomplishment, and,
right.
It's a peacefulness, that comes from when you, do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say do, that takes away that fear of that burning fire of the hellfire, get far, far, far away from any worry of that, you dig? Ramadan's a beautiful thing, something we look forward to and that we experience, we love it. And when it's over with, we're very, very grateful.
What about you, brother? How do you feel when you come out of a fast?
Well, as Brother Abdul Haq said, you do feel a sense of accomplishment. You do feel a sense of accomplishment. You do feel a sense of gratification because it's not easy. It's not easy because, you're fasting from, before the sun rises until the sun sets. So it's a challenge. And you feel a sense of accomplishment when you complete the 30 days. Now, besides that, or in addition to that, you feel good physically because you do lose weight if you're doing it properly. You do lose weight. You do cleanse a lot of the toxins out of the body, mentally and physically. Now, the word success was used. And when we are called to prayer, one of the things that's said when we're being called to prayer, it is called come to success. Yeah. Come to success. And
briefly, but also remember the Eid, the Eid is recurring happiness. So you happy
Yes,
over the success that you gain during the fast. The
that's
Eid
right.
al-Adha, yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's correct. That's correct. So in terms of that, coming to success is, it's reiterated not only, during the month of Ramadan, but it is also constantly reiterated every time we do make prayer. It is asking us to come to success because, see, it's just not a ritualistic thing. If you comprehend what it is a thing, if I will, can use that word. It is a thing that you are attempting to always keep yourself in some type of spiritual check. That's what this whole thing is all about. Keeping yourself in a spiritual check because the aspects of a human being are just beyond only physical. It is mental and it is spiritual. And this is all because of what Islam prescribes. And one of the things that Islam prescribes is the month of Ramadan. And it is a time for us to reflect upon all of these things. And again, I like to give props and say that, as far as being a conscious brother, I will not forget brothers like Imam Jamil Alameen, Mumia Abu Jamal, Sekou Adengo, brothers like that. And I could continue to go on and on and on. Jamil Mutakin, and brothers that have passed, that have all sacrificed for the cause of Islam, but sacrifice for our human betterment, sacrifice for the upliftment of black people. So again, it is a thing where not only do you appreciate what it is, but it is also a great thing to feel this sense of accomplishment after you fast for this 30 days because it makes you think about so many things. And after the thing is to manifest those thoughts, to put them into action. And that's what it is.
Yeah. Yo, brother, you just mentioned and the political you just mentioned Mumia and an update on that, brother. The courts just turned down his appeal. You understand? Appeal, about lying witnesses being bribed, prosecutorial corruption, misconduct, and they just turned that brother down. So we got to, turn up the heat, for him too. I just want to
Yes,
mention that.
sir.
Right. They push,
Yes,
we push
sir.
back harder. That
Yeah.
means that we have to write more, we got to
Yeah.
sign petitions, and we got to organize stronger. And that's why, that's why this platform is so important. And we encourage people to share it with at least 10 people, write to a political prisoner, do your part, be creative. Because that's what it's all about, being very creative. I wanted to ask both of you a question because Abdul Islam, you were incarcerated and you were recognizing the month of Ramadan while you were incarcerated. And I know that was very challenging. And then this brother Asmat is recognizing on a day-to-day life as a working black man in America. And I know that's challenging. Share the experiences of both experiences as far as you being incarcerated and Ramadan. How did that help you with your incarceration?
Well, one thing that you struggle for, during incarceration is peace of mind. You understand? You confined, you're locked down, and so, Ramadan, gave me extra strength, to deal with that challenge, to have a certain level of coolness, you understand, in terms of, my mentality, to always think in terms of being strong, to get stronger and stronger and stronger, and to fight, you understand? And, like I said, to put my all in all my might into standing up against this ravenous, stump jumping, ridge running, eating crap, hollering at the moon beast, you understand?
Yes.
That we dealing with, you understand? And, to develop myself in the ways that are necessary, to engage in this war, and to win.
Right, yes, that's very powerful and important because you said it made you stronger. And I think about Jalil Abdul Muttaqim, he did over 49 years in prison. Sekou Odinga, he did over 33 years in prison. And current incarcerated political prisoner Kamal Siddiqui, he's done a number of years. And all three of these brothers are of the Islamic faith. And I know that they have credited Islam for them being able to endure their lengthy sentence. Mm-hmm. And I said that there's power in that. So I can only imagine how when they would come out of the month of Ramadan and be stronger with dealing with their current situation. You as a working black man in America, you working at a job for a number of years, how does Ramadan help you become empowered and strengthened to deal with the day-to-day activities at your work, your place of work?
The Quran teaches us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches us to, seek patience through fasting and prayer. And these are the things I think what the brothers are talking about, the brothers that are political prisoners. Islam is able to hold them down because they seek patience through prayer and through fasting. And that's what it does for me. I mean, you live in a world where you're faced with all kinds of challenges. One of our primary challenges is being a black man in America. And that's probably one of our greatest challenges, if anything. And day-to-day work, can be a challenge because it depends on what job that you're doing and what's required of the job and how
you run into a lot of crazy people every day, don't you? As Matt, you run into a lot of crazy people every day, don't you?
Well, we'll say, dealing with mental health issues.
Yeah. Well, the Quran teaches us not to be the aggressor. You have a person that's coming at you very aggressively. It teaches you not to be the aggressor. It teaches you to be intelligent because Islam highlights intelligence. It highlights the fact of being intelligent. It says a intelligent man is more harder on evil or the devil than 1,000 ignorant worshipers. So Islam teaches us to be intelligent.
It says be wise.
Intelligent. Mm-hmm. It praises intelligence, and it says it's something that we should be to be holding to. So, in situations where you have people that have mental health issues and have mental health challenges, and they come at you, Islam teaches you how to be calm and to deal with each situation intelligently and to diffuse these situations and not be the aggressor in these situations. The person's being aggressive towards you, but you do not respond in the like. It teaches you how to be intelligent about that particular situation or situations, whatever it may be.
I know you encounter that every day, don't you, brother?
Yeah, 90 to 95% of the time. But I understand though. I comprehend it.
Yeah, but everybody has their tool to deal with their challenges, and the political prisoner uses Islam as a tool to deal with their challenge, and it allows them to persevere. And we have to use what we have to make sure that they're not forgotten, because these are great minds. Like Mumia has written books that critically analyze our current situation, that once we apply what he's been saying, then we can move our people forward, because we're faced with challenges each and every day. We look at what's going on with Trump. We look at what's going on when you look at on a number of things, right? We know it is only a matter of time for things change in the interest of the oppressed. And this didn't happen overnight. It was a struggle. Many people made many sacrifices for many years. Political prisoners have been going on since the first African was kidnapped and brought here and said no, that they wasn't going to do what their so-called master told them to do. They was either whipped or they was killed. But one thing happened, that they were penalized for resistance. And that's why we have to recognize our political prisoners for being our modern day heroes, right? Our freedom
absolutely, fighters. Absolutely.
We have to control the narrative. And that's why this platform is so important. Because if we don't control the narrative, then they won't classify our political prisoners as that. They'll say that they're criminals, they're terrorists, and they deserve exactly what they have. Mm-hmm. And my position, our position is we're taxpayers. They use our money, our resources to fund an industrial complex system. And they're not correcting anybody. They're holding somebody captive for their own reasons. And we want our political prisoners to be home. But the only way that can happen is by us bringing them home. Like Sundiata Kohli would say, the people free the political prisoners, not the state, right? The state just incarcerates them, but we organize and we advocate for their freedom. We make that demand for their freedom, and we put in that work. And that's why we're telling all those who practice Islam, Ramadan is here. Focus, become more God conscious, and out of that, make a commitment to something that is dealing directly with addressing injustices. We're calling on those of the Islamic faith in the month of Ramadan, write a political prisoner, get down with the organization doing work to free political prisoners. These are your Muslim brothers that are incarcerated. Don't forget them. Our slogan is don't let political prisoners die in prison. Brother, you know, give us some closing words, brother, because we're about to wrap this episode up. Appreciate you attending. Appreciate your participation. And we will be looking for you to participate again in the future. So your closing words, my brother?
I just like to say that there are no words to describe how to say thank you and as you would say, you know, Jazakallah khairan, shukran Allah, Jazakallah. There's no words to describe the thanks that I would like to say toward all the brothers and sisters that are in these so-called prisons in the United States of America and throughout the world, and thank them for their sacrifice. Like you hear people always thanking American soldiers. Somebody, a soldier says, yeah, I served in Afghanistan, and immediately the person like, thank you for your service. You know, and that's great. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I think to these brothers and these sisters, thank you for your service and your sacrifice.
Appreciate you, brother. All right, man. See you soon. You take care of yourself. Give the family our love. All right, brother?
Sure will. I appreciate y'all. Take care.
Be strong. I say be strong and free them all. You know, we talk about righteousness. We talk about what is fair and what is good. You know, it is righteous, you understand, for us to fight for those who fought for us. You know, what's the call? Free them all.
Yeah, I know it. But you know how we do? We have close word from my brother Killer Mike. You know, because these words cannot be forgotten. These words have to be continuous because he has a bigger platform than we have. And the more he had to say, more of us will understand.
And I have to give the credit to this idea, Miss Kathy Hughes of Radio 1. She's like, Michael, it is time that you guys organize a fund to set aside to help people who sacrifice for our freedom. Meaning, every time something happens, I hear this. Why don't the gangbangers jump up and do something for us? Why don't you kill them? You kill each other. And I say to myself, when is the last time you sent money to a Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Matulu Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Mumia Abu-Jamal or Larry Hoover or Jeff Ford or Leonard Peltier? When is the last time you have made it your business to send money to a revolutionary or a hoodlum that has helped us? And until we start to do that, how can we ask these young men to be warriors? Because if they do it in the name of the hood, at least the hood gonna honor their name always. At least the hood gonna make sure at least their children got something or their mama's house is looked after as a community. If we're going to ask people to bungee jump for us with no cord, be prepared to take care of them when they get a life sentence. Be prepared to look after their families. See, I don't mind the work getting done, but let's take care of the workers. Let's stop asking more out of people than we would do for ourselves. So what I'd like to see, my dream thing, is to see 1 million people from the culture dedicate $10 a month. That's $10 million a month, $120 million a year toward taking care of civil rights leaders who have worked on our behalf and are elderly now and don't have to take care of themselves, like Rosa Parks, whose rent was paid by the owner of Little Caesars Pizza. We should have had a fund to make sure that she never had to worry about that again in her life. We should have a fund that makes sure money makes to Assata Shakur, and Matulu Shakur has legal representation and food, and Leonard Peltier, who has diabetes in jail, can get insulin and taken care of. And until we start doing it, $10 a month is about what you pay on a couple fast food restaurant visits. So if 1 million of us do that for the rest of our life, look at how well we'll be taking care of the people that we're asking to sacrifice on our behalf.